Here's to George, the curious little monkey. He's so full of curiosity. Here's to George, the curious little monkey. He's as curious can be.
Curious George and the Little Dog. It was time for George to get up and have breakfast with his friend, the man with the yellow hat. George got out of bed and went to the kitchen. But the man wasn't there. George looked into the living room. Nobody there. Then he went into the study. Nobody there either. So George went back to the kitchen and had breakfast alone. But where was his friend? Why wasn't he home? Maybe he was angry at George. After all, George did cause some trouble lately. He did turn on the hydrant. He did cause trouble at the concert and more trouble at the ranch. So George decided to leave home. He packed his little bag and left. He walked down the street. No one was around. That is, almost no one. A little scruffy dog with a curled tail was following George. George kept walking, and so did the dog. They came to a park where mothers were sitting and talking while their children were riding tricycles or swinging on the high bar. Suddenly, George felt something scratch at his leg. It was the scruffy little dog. He wanted to play with George. A boy got off his tricycle and went to the water fountain. George quickly got on the tricycle, and so did the little dog. They rode over to the high bar. Children were lining up to swing from one end to the other. George got off the tricycle, sneaked up front, and climbed up the ladder and began to swing. "Why didn't you wait your turn?" yelled a girl. "Get down from there," shouted another. It was time to get away. George jumped down, and the two of them ran off. In the middle of the park was a gazebo. People were listening to the music. A man was playing a strange-looking instrument. George and his friend were listening too. They began to dance. "Isn't that cute?" said a woman. "A monkey and a dog doing the polka." "Why don't we try too?" said a man. And they got up and started to dance. Soon, all the people were dancing. They were having a wonderful time. That is, until the children came running over. "That's the monkey who took my tricycle," shouted one of them. "And he pushed in front of us on the high bar," said a girl. The musician came over. "Just a moment," he said. "I've been playing for an hour, but if it wasn't for these two, nobody would have had any fun." "Children, leave George and his friend alone," said a man. "And leave us alone too," added a woman. "We're having a great time making new friends." "And I've finally found my friend," said the man with the yellow hat, coming through the crowd. "You were still asleep, George, when I went to the post office. When I came home, you were gone." Then he picked up George. "Let's go home," he said. They waved goodbye to everyone, got into their little blue car, and drove off with the little scruffy dog.